Hey, Rochester, welcome to the WDKX After Show, where we take topics from the radio show and extend it here on the WDKX Podcast Network. Today's is somebody had enough of way too much and now is in jail.
Well, the breaking point, there's a national story that took place at one of the big box fast food restaurants where a manager was stabbed to death by one of the employees. The employee was sent home 2 days in a row, went home, came back with the knife, attacked the store manager. The only reason she stopped is because a customer in the drive-thru saw her and was a licensed carrier and fired one shot in the air. The employee tried to run off. He chased her down, held her at gunpoint. So police got there. Now, I had the opportunity to go look at this young lady's page, and you can clearly tell that this young lady definitely had some issues that was going on, mental issues that were going on. Just from the content that she was posting, she was repeatedly talking about the job. There was another point where I believe like her next door neighbor was helping her out, and he was trying to like make her feel guilty. He was trying to have sex with her. She didn't want to, and he was, making her feel guilty about that. So she had like a little breakdown with that. So this young lady was going through a lot of stuff, not giving her a pass about her actions, but it always go to the old saying, be careful how you treat people because you never know what a person is going through.
Well, the other and this, first of all, this was downstate. I think it was Florida.
No, this was in Detroit.
Oh, Detroit. All right.
Detroit.
All right. So, sorry, Florida. That one was not on you. That was in Detroit. But at any rate, it also gets you to understanding that you don't know what somebody's going through, or somebody else might be verbally upset with you, and you'll just be like, all right, yeah, you're done for the day. How would that manager have known that this individual on this particular day was going to go to that extreme? There's extremes where you get cussed out. There's extremes where you might physically hit somebody. This is not that. This is like a total mental collapse in murder. Like there's not going to be any.
This is a premeditated murder.
Yeah, this is not. This is another level of breakdown. When you say somebody's having a breakdown,
you snap on the spot.
But you not only snap on the spot. This is like, I'm gone. Like this person who's bullying you at work, you're sent home. So you're away from them.
Yeah.
You come back with a weapon, not to threaten, to really hurt and now kill. So now we're in another category. How would that manager have known that that employee was going to go to that extreme? Because if that was the case, they would have called the cops right then and there.
I think the manager probably didn't know. And it's not clear exactly what happened with them, but from what the young lady is saying, because you can clearly see her Instagram videos, and there were just several videos of her talking about the job. The sad thing about, it's sad all the way around, but that manager, 39-year-old woman with 6 kids.
Yeah. But at any moment, was there any sign at the employment that said, yo, this is a red flag. You now need to call the police for sending this coworker home from it? The story is tragic. The lady's death is tragic, but what could have been prevented or gave a sign that said this was going to happen? There was no sign.
Only thing I could recommend, and I think your private life is your private life, but her social media. If they would have saw that social media and seen the things that she was posting on social media, that would have raised some concerns, and I think actions would have been taken, and all of this would have been could have been prevented. So the wild thing about this story, because I got a chance to watch the young lady's arraignment. Her bail's $25 million, and I guess this wasn't her first time stabbing someone. So she has a violent past. I'm not sure if she just flips out and hurts people randomly, or was she pushed to that point? Either or, it's a violent offense, and now that violent past that she had caught up with her in this, because it unfortunately took someone's life.
Yeah, it's sad too, because somebody, just because they have a history of violent propensities doesn't mean that they're gonna commit it, but you do run that risk of it. I've been around.
That's being held against her.
But here's the thing: that the damage is already done. Like you've already crossed this line of, they should have known, or you should have known that you have to handle your own business and not done something like that. That ruins the second chance for anybody else who's just like, no, I'm working on myself. I would never do something like that. That's the toughest part about this. But I guess my thing would be this: what the hell is AI going to be able to do to stop this? Because my thing is, you can't have a person sitting there watching every employee's social media all the time.
Right.
So that would mean that you would need something for AI to do. And that would mean that they would need to flag everybody's social media to be like, today, Mike ain't having a good day. Michelle ain't having a good day. We need to bring this because people bring their issues sometimes to work.
And definitely. They bring their personal life to work. I mean, this lady, it just refreshed my memory. The young lady in one of the posts, and I'm not sure if it was the knife that was used in the murder, but she had a knife where she flicked it, and she was like, "Don't worry, I'm not bringing it with me. It's gonna stay home." Stuff like that.
That should be noted and documented, but we don't do it as humans.
Yeah.
So I have to say now, when stuff like that's going on, we got cameras everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's just bizarre to me. We got cameras everywhere. Mm-hmm. We've got access to information everywhere, but we want to pretend like ain't nobody else can do this job except this one person.
Yeah.
But it's going to cost you even more because this person's going to lose their life. You're probably going to face a lawsuit. And they're going to be like, yo, you should have known. Here was warning sign 1 through 10 that this individual should not be around and should be getting mental health evaluation or help. You know what I mean? Because eventually this is going to bust.
Well, I think, man, the lesson that should be learned from this, and we'll talk with Dr. Stacey Killings more about this, go into a deeper dive on a professional conversation with this. But it goes back to just be careful how you treat people. I'm not saying that the manager egged this girl on. Obviously, there was something for her to get sent home. But just in general, just be careful how you treat people because you don't know what a person is going through.
And if you are going through something, you have to be willing to understand, like, yo, I need to get the hell out of here just as much for myself than I do for everybody else. Yeah. And that's hard to do when you're in it. I'm not saying it's easy either way, but I do understand that there are certain moments where you have to get out of a situation where you feel like it's coming on.
Well, sometimes, when you have situations that get out of hand or unfortunately leads to a fatality, sometimes it don't even have anything to do with you. You could just look at the person and or bump into them and they just flip out and they do something to you. It really ain't had anything to do with you. It's what else is going on in their life. You just were the tipping point at that moment.
Yeah. It's a very difficult situation. It's a very difficult topic, but we can't run away from it because there's a lot of people that deal with issues going to happy places, terrible places, go through a lot of trauma that ain't got nothing to do with work, ain't got nothing to do with family, and they bring it to public situations and ends up in situations like this. That's WDKX After Show. Make sure you subscribe to WDKX Podcast Network.